Okay, today we're going to cover Chapter 1, Section 1. So Chapter 1, Section 1 deals with your four properties. We have addition, subtraction, multiplication, and we have division. All right, in these four different properties, we are dealing with how we isolate a variable. So it's really important that we understand to isolate a variable, it means we take everything that's on the same side as that variable and we move it across the equal sign by using one of the four. Now, as we go through this chapter, you're going to discover that we sometimes have multiple layers of this, which means you may have to add or subtract before you divide or multiply. So when we get into the two-step problems, you will find the same theme as what we first learned. So let's go through number 1 on page 6 of your note packet, please. If you do not have me as a teacher, then please feel free to copy down these problems as we go through and explain them. Now I'm going to ask students to justify their steps. To justify your steps, that means you tell me what property you use. So right now, this is just a rewrite. So we say rewrite. That's step 1. Step 2 is, what do I have to do to isolate this W? Well, we look at what do we have to use to get 4 across the other side, because that is the only number that's on the same side as W. Well, since 4 is held by addition, we do the opposite operation. The opposite operation in this case is going to be subtraction. So we are going to say subtraction here in our justify step. So I am going to subtract 4 across, so I have W equals 12. And this, of course, is your rewrite answer step. So basically, I have 3 steps I did. I rewrite the equation onto the paper. I subtract or use a subtraction property, and then rewrite the answer. Now, to check it, you basically plug it back in. So take the 12 and put it in place of W. 12 plus 4 equals 16. So 16 equals 16. This counts as what we call a check step. So when I ask you to do a check step on either your quiz or your test, you are going to show this to me by putting the answer back into the variable and then playing it out and making sure both sides match. Okay, let's look at number 3. Number 3, we have negative 15 plus W equals 6. Once again, I'm going to ask you to justify, and then I'm going to ask you to check your answer. So we know the first step is going to be rewrite equation. Now, the difference between the first one and the second one is going to be the fact that instead of having a plus in front of it, we have a minus. In this case, the minus indicates that the 15 is negative, because once again, our goal is to get the W isolated. So since W is considered negative, that's also the same as saying that it is a subtraction. So the opposite of subtraction, we know, is addition. So we're going to use addition property to move the 15 across. So I'm going to add the 15 to both sides of the equation, and I get W equals 21. So we know that our final step is rewrite answer in my justification. And then over here for my check step, we are going to show negative 15 plus 21 equals 6. If you subtract those two, you get 6 equals 6, which is the correct answer. Now take a moment and I want you to pause the video and to complete these 3 problems. When you restart the video, they will magically appear. On the worksheet, this is number 2, number 4, and number 5. All right, so take a minute, pause the video, and I want you to come back to this. Okay, let's see how you did. On number 2, you should have subtracted the 7 across to both sides, giving you negative 19. Justifying step, of course, is the subtraction property in between rewrite equation and rewrite answer. The check step clearly shows that negative 19 plus 7 gives me negative 12 equals negative 12. So good job if you've gotten that one so far. Number 4, number 1 are seriously close. Instead of just adding it across, we add across and get 13. Our justify is rewrite equation, addition property, and rewrite answer. We then take and do our check step. So 13 minus 5 gives me 8. Both sides match. Great job on the second one. And then the last one, we take and we have to add 9 across. Now this time the variable is on the opposite side. So your teachers may say, I want the variable on the left. Really simple to correct. You can take and rewrite it once you get your answer. So when you get done, all you have to do is rewrite it so that the variable is on the left-hand side and you have everything complete. Great job. All right, so now let's look at the next ones. The next ones have to do with multiplication or division to solve. So in order to multiply or divide to solve, we're going to look at numbers 6 through 9. So let's look at 6 and 7 and 8 and 9, and let's see what happens. So number 6, in this case, we have 7q equals 35. For our justify step, once again, you have rewrite equation. The next step you're going to do is you are going to use the opposite. Well, we want q all by itself. To do that, you have to use the opposite operation that's holding the 7 and the q together. Opposite of multiplication, of course, is division. So divide both sides by 7, and you get the q equals 5. So we are going to use division then to achieve this. And then, of course, for our final one, we're going to put rewrite answer. So check step. We have 7 times 5 equals 35, which is true. 35 equals 35, so we are good to go. I'm going to put number 7 down here, but in a moment we're going to pause the video and you're going to have an opportunity to do number 7. All right, the moment is here. Take a moment, pause this, give me the justify, and give me the check step. Let's see how well or how much you remember. Okay, so how did we do? Did we get that b equaled negative 13? Did you get your rewrite correct? Your division property and rewrite answer? How about your check step? When you check step, did you get negative 52 on both sides? If you did, congratulations. If not, we'll have time at the end to go over more examples. Okay, now we're going to start talking about the next layer, which is going to be, instead of using division to get rid of something, we're going to use multiplication. So I've already wrote down number 8. For number 8, we have 3 equals q over 11. So if we have a variable divided by a number, we cannot leave it this way. We have to solve. To do this is very basic. You do the opposite. So we know the opposite of division is multiplication. So what I'm going to do is take and multiply both sides by 11. So over here, we're going to say we're going to rewrite equation. and then we are going to multiply. So the multiplication property is what we're going to use. And then we'll end up with 33 equals Q. So this right here is going to be my rewrite answer step. So my check step is going to be this. If I have this answer, so it's going to be 3 equals 33 over 11. Well, when we divide 33 by 11, we get 3. So the check step proves that it is correct. Now, last one is number 9. Once again, I want you to pause the video and try this on your own. Be careful, the negatives can be tricky. Okay, so let's see how we did. Did you get 30 for n? If you did, congratulations. If not, let's go back and see where we may have made our mistake. Remember, you were dividing by the number underneath the variable n. So negative 2 had to be multiplied on both sides to reverse the division. So when we multiply a negative 2 by a negative 15, you should have gotten positive 30. If you do your check step, you will notice that opposite signs keep it negative, same signs keep it positive. And in this case, by putting a negative 2 under the 30, we get to keep our negative sign with the 15, making it match on both sides. Congratulations, you've done the first step. Let's look at the last 2 problems on our packet. I'll put these up to save time, so you do not have to worry about trying to copy it down. It says a coupon subtracts $17.95 from a price P of a pair of headphones. You paid $71.80 for the headphones after using the coupon. Write and solve an equation. Find the original price of the headphones. Okay, so let's read what we have. You have a coupon that subtracts it from price P. So we don't know what the original price was, but they're going to call it P. So we're going to say our original price P. The coupon is a takeoff, so that's why we're going to subtract the $17.95. You paid only $71.80 for this. So this right here would be considered our equation. So this is the right part. We wrote the equation out. To find the original price of the headphones, we're going to have to do a little bit of isolating and solving. So let's isolate P by adding $17.95 to both sides. So it looks like the original cost was $89.75 for those headphones. Okay, so let's look at number 11. This was the addition subtraction for 10, so 11 is probably going to be the multiplier divide. It says after a party, you have 2/5 of the brownies you made left over. There are 16 brownies left. How many brownies did you make for the party? Well, let's think of it this way. 2/5 is the total amount of brownies that you have left over. So if I have 2/5 of the brownies you have made, so that's going to be an X, equals how many brownies, in this case, are only 16. So 2/5 of the brownies is 16. If we flip this, we can multiply it on both sides. So this one is kind of a unique situation. Whenever you have a fraction, to clear it, you multiply by the reciprocal. So in this case, let's make our 16 over 1. We are going to multiply by the reciprocal 5/2. So to make this work, this cancels out completely, getting X isolated just like we wanted. Now we're going to take and use a little bit of reducing here. So 2 goes into 16 8 times. So 8 times 5 is 40. So there are 40 brownies left over. Or 40 brownies, I should say, to begin with. Those weren't our leftovers. Those are what we had to begin with. Okay, awesome job. Now I think you're prepared to start your assignment. If you need to go on, I would suggest to go into YouTube and check out other videos on basic solving. Good luck and great job.